You know what? It's a good line to represent love. Here it is. All right. Sand. It's rough. It's coarse. It gets it everywhere. Man, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. No, that is not brilliant because that does not work for a love story. And you know what else didn't work for a love story? Attack of the Clones, the second Star Wars movie of the prequel trilogy, directed by George Lucas, starring Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, and everybody and your mother. Before I get to my review, I want to go through the entire plot of the movie. And for those of you who've watched the movie for, let's say, 1,000 times and don't want to hear the plot again, you can just click right here at the bottom of your screen, not my ears, below my head, on below the screen, and get to the review of the movie. But until then, let's go over the plot of this movie. So we start with the movie with Senator Padme Amidala, the former Queen of Naboo, arriving to Coruscant to vote on an issue of creating a Republic army to assist the Galactic Republic and the Jedi. However, an assassination attempt is made on her life, killing her decoy in the process. Padme resists any special protection, but when Anakin and Obi-Wan are assigned as her bodyguards, she is very pleased to find out that it is in fact her old friends defending her. We meet Anakin Skywalker, now Jedi Padawan, 19 years old, and under the wing of Obi-Wan Kenobi. He learned a lot from Obi-Wan, but still often resents his master's teachings. Anakin is impatient sometimes and reckless, and even in the elevator scene when they go up to meet Padme Amidala, they start to argue for a little bit before throwing it off as a simple joke. When Anakin and Obi-Wan meet Padme, they're excited to see her, especially Anakin Skywalker, who hasn't seen her in 10 years. The both of them compliment on each other's maturity over the years, but the issue remains that Anakin and Obi-Wan are there to protect Padme, and only to protect Padme. While a second assassination attempt is made on Padme, Obi-Wan and Anakin chase and catch the assassin, but she is killed by a toxic dart before they can question her for anything. Obi-Wan visits an old friend, Dex, in his diner, and shows him the dart. Dex tells him that it comes from a planet of Kamino, a planet of cloners. Obi-Wan consults the Jedi Star System databank for Kamino, but he finds out that all of the records of the planet have been erased. Yoda and Obi-Wan detect a gravitational anomaly in a star map and determine that it must be the Kamino's location. Knowing any other Jedi could delete the information from the archives, they can only wonder who did it and why. While all this is going on, Anakin is given his first assignment to protect and to escort Padme back to Naboo where she is safer. Jar Jar Binks is appointed as her representative in the Senate while she is away. Obi-Wan tells Master Yoda and Mace Windu that Anakin isn't ready for the assignment and has grown arrogant, but they insist that Anakin may be the chosen one, and this is just the responsibility that he can get a chance to prove himself to the Jedi. However, Anakin feels that Obi-Wan is holding him back from all of his power and finds sympathy and encouragement from Chancellor Palpatine, who tells him that he is the most gifted Jedi ever and he's capable of being more powerful than any other Jedi, including, of course, Master Yoda. Obi-Wan arrives on Kamino and finds a clone army being created for the Galactic Republic. While given a warm welcome, Obi-Wan learns that the clones were ordered by Master Sifo Dyas, a Jedi Knight killed 10 years ago. Obi-Wan meets Jango Fett, a bounty hunter that was hired to be the DNA donor. As part of his payment, he was given an unaltered clone and named him Boba. Obi-Wan asked if Jango Fett knew Sifo Dyas, but Jango Fett said that he was recruited by Lord Tyrannus. Obi-Wan transmits a message to Yoda and Mace Windu reporting on the clone army and that Jango Fett the assassin is in fact the one they were looking for. Yoda and Mace Windu realize that the Jedi's power to use the Force has diminished, and Obi-Wan makes an attempt to capture Jango Fett, but fails and allows both him and Boba Fett to escape. Before they take off, Obi-Wan attaches a tracking device to the ship and follows it to the planet of Geonosis, where he learns the Separatists are building a massive droid army. On Naboo, Padme and Anakin spend some time alone together. However, Anakin slowly and deeply falls in love with Padme Amidala. Padme denies to return the feelings to Anakin, but gradually deepens her love towards Anakin as well. However, she's unwilling to love Anakin simply for the fact that he is a Jedi in training and that she is a senator. Anakin does not take the news very well, but however respects her opinion on it. Then later, he has a disturbing dream about his mother. He is determined to find her and goes to Tatooine along with Padme to seek out anyone who knows what happened to his mother. Anakin finds out that his mother was sold to a farmer Clegg Lars, who was freed and who freed her and married her at the same time. At Lars' farm, Anakin learns that Shmi was captured by Tusken Raiders a month before and said she was believed to be dead. he finds the Tusken camp, but Shmi is barely alive and she dies in his arms. Driven by grief and rage, Anakin slaughters Tuskens, including women and children. From afar, though, Yoda senses a deep disturbance in the Force. Before leaving Tatooine, Anakin follows up on a message recorded by Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi that was also given to the Jedi Council. The message was that the Geonosians are building a giant army to take on the Galactic Republic. However, that the Jedis need to help Obi-Wan to investigate this problem. Obi-Wan is then captured by the Geonosians. Anakin and Padme go to Geonosis to rescue him. Mace Windu and a group of Jedi also go to Geonosis to help Obi-Wan. Back on Coruscant, though, Jar Jar Binks is guilted into giving the Chancellor Palpatine emergency powers to create a galactic army for the Republic, while Yoda goes back to Kamino to investigate this clone army. Anakin and Padme join the Geonosis to rescue Obi-Wan Kenobi, but are also captured along with their master. The three are sentenced to death, but are eventually saved by Jedi Knights that arrived, and along with clone troopers sent with Yoda. A huge battle commences all around Geonosis, surrounding the entire arena, and the Jedi go chasing after Count Dooku. Count Dooku earlier mentioned that there was a Dark Lord of the Sith controlling the entire Galactic Republic, and said that this would bring the Republic to his knees. Count Dooku then asked Obi-Wan if he would join him, and Obi-Wan refused. However, Count Dooku did reference that Qui-Gon Jinn supported his issue and take on the entire Galactic Republic and the Jedi themselves. Obi-Wan denies this rumor and does not take up to Count Dooku's offer. During the battle over Geonosis, Mace Windu kills and decapitates Jango Fett's head. Boba Fett watches in the process at the horror of his father dying before his very eyes. Eventually, Anakin and Obi-Wan intercept Count Dooku and reach him in a secret base. The three engage in a lightsaber battle, but Dooku wins in the process, while injuring Obi-Wan Kenobi and even cutting off Anakin's right arm. Yoda arrives to engage the Count in a duel. Dooku flees the scene, and Yoda was forced to stay to keep Anakin and Obi-Wan from being crushed. As the Jedi gravely acknowledge the past events and also begin the Clone Wars, Anakin is fitted with a robotic arm and marries Padme secretly, with C-3PO and R2-D2 as their witnesses. The credits roll and the music fades. So my friends, that is Attack of the Clones, directed by George Lucas and starring this wonderful cast of people. Now, I don't like the movie at all. And to say that after The Phantom Menace is one thing, because The Phantom Menace was disappointing. This movie did not feel like it tried at all. Character development was thrown out of the window. Consistency among plot, consistency among story elements from the first movie were thrown out of the window in favor of this action CGI wonderland of a movie, simply to sell new toys, simply to sell new merchandise for the movie, and you definitely did not feel the Star Wars adventure from the original trilogy in this movie. And it's a shame, because going into this movie, a lot of people were hoping, they were like, the first one was disappointing, but this one, if we give it a chance, I'm sure it will knock it out of the park. No, the movie didn't work for a lot of different reasons, and I'm going to go through a lot of different ways the movie disappointed. One, the story development between characters was awful. I did not like Obi-Wan's character in this movie. I did not like Anakin Skywalker's character in the movie. I did not like Yoda's character in the movie. I didn't like Natalie Portman's character in this movie at all. There was no character to love in this movie. And when you don't have that, you don't have a character to connect with. You don't have a Luke Skywalker. You don't have a Marty McFly to connect with. So you get lost amongst this strange universe of people who apparently don't marry and don't have kids, and also who don't like feelings, because apparently that leads to the dark side, but getting really, really angry doesn't. That just doesn't make sense to me, because in the original trilogy, although it was an out-of-world feel, it definitely felt real because you had a lot of characters that you could relate to. In this movie, there wasn't any I could relate to. How can I relate to Mace Windu cutting off a head of Jango Fett in front of his son? That's brutal. I can't relate to Mace Windu. Come on. Another thing this movie fails at is a love story. Whereas Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, succeeded at Han and Leia's love story, just growing and growing and growing throughout the entire movie, this movie just vomited on the idea of a love story. How in the world does a line like, I don't like sand, it's coarse, it's rough, it gets everywhere, not like here, how does that line work? Exactly. How does that make me feel that these two are in fact lovers and these people absolutely care about each other? Also, another line was this one.
I truly, love you.
You serious?
I totally buy their love story, right? They're both good looking, they're both placed in beautiful backgrounds, they're in love, right? No, George Lucas did not understand the idea of a love story. That is not how you make a love story happen, and I didn't care about their marriage at the end of the movie. It's supposed to be taboo, it's supposed to be secret. So what? I don't care. I don't care about these characters. I don't like them at all. Anakin Skywalker. Oh, and don't get me started with Anakin Skywalker. He was a whiny guy from the very beginning. And for those of you saying that Anakin Skywalker's fall was in episode 3, I say bullcrap, because it was in episode 2 where he killed a lot of innocent children and women in a Tusken Raider village who didn't have anything to do with the killing of his mother. How could you like a character like Anakin Skywalker and feel bad for the guy when in fact he loses his mother, when he falls to the dark side, when he loses everything at the end of the episode 3? How could you relate to a character like that? That's just a question that's been buzzing around my head for years. I never wanted to see Yoda carry a lightsaber. Never did I want to. Why? Because I'm not a child. I don't just want to see things on my screen blow up. I don't want to see things on my screen look flashy just for the sake of looking flashy. I want movies to stay consistent with the story that it established decades earlier. Material things don't matter. What matters is your own will with the Force. You know, this grants me the idea that just because you're a Jedi does not mean you have to carry a lightsaber. How would a Jedi as small as Yoda with a guy as long, how does a guy as small as Yoda carry a lightsaber? Then you say, because he's Yoda and he's awesome. Well, then how does a guy in a Jedi Council with no legs carry a lightsaber and keep himself up with Count Dooku in a fight? How? How does a guy with a long neck, like this guy right here, how does he stay in a fight with Count Dooku? How? How does he fight? I know exactly where I swing if I was in a lightsaber fight with him. So the Attack of the Clones gets a horrible 4 out of 10. I hated this movie. I didn't like anything in this movie. I didn't like the lightsaber fights in this movie because I didn't care about it. I didn't like the character developments because I didn't care about any of these characters. I hated the love story because I didn't care about the love story. I hated Yoda fighting in a lightsaber because I didn't want to see Yoda in the lightsaber duel. I don't get the defending of the prequels. George Lucas is not trying. Why are you giving props to a guy who does not try to make his movies good? It's like they go with a first draft in the movie. How do you let a man get away with that? How do you let a franchise as awesome as Star Wars fall into that carelessness? How? Anyway, guys, rant over. That was my review of Attack of the Clones. I thought it was terrible. You could think differently, and you know where you can tell me differently? In the comments below. Let me know why you actually liked Attack of the Clones, or if you agree with me, tell me what I missed and what you thought was even worse in the movie in the comments below. Guys, leave a like for this video if you can as well. Subscribe because that'd be fantastic, and check out my other Star Wars reviews coming up on this channel, along with a lot of other awesome reviews on this channel. This has been Joel from Real Talk. Go watch some movies.